To learn about the off-grid lifestyle and to be inspired to live your dreams, click subscribe so you don't miss anything. Hit the bell notification. So I thought I'd give a little status update on our little tiny house that we're building, which is right here. This is the base of the tiny house that we've gotten done, the floor. To give everybody a little bit of history before I get started on the update. When we moved here, there was a trailer right where I'm sitting, a mobile home trailer. Half of it was demolished completely down to the floor, which is the front half up here. So it didn't have a roof or walls, just had, well, it didn't even really have a floor. The rainwater had disintegrated the particle board. And so the particle board, you can actually see, is still laying here on the ground. That's all particle board there. The back half still had the frame of the walls, so it had 2x2s framing, and it had the roof. So we demolished the rest of the trailer, the mobile home, got rid of it. And so you can see that we still have our scrap over here. We actually think we found somebody who is going to take that out for us. They can have it. If they want to pull it out of here, they can have it. It really isn't that much money for us. So if he's in business of going around collecting scrap, we're going to let him have it. Now the trailer extended to the end where the wood line starts. And you can see all the trash that was left behind. Now, the trailer was parked here, we found out, in 1975. No one's lived here. Well, that's not true. No one has lived here since 1975. Not sure when the trailer was parked here. Well, the neighbor pointed out that he wanted to put a fence here. The wood line is actually where his property line starts. In 2006, they made a law saying that you can't build in so many feet to the property line. Now, a lot of people suggested that I should have been grandfathered into that I should be able to build out to the property line because the trailer was already here. Well, I didn't need that much trailer. We only wanted enough to build the tiny house here that you see with the platform, and then we're going to build a porch here. So that left us plenty of room for the property line boundary. So it made the neighbor happy, and it really was no skin off my back, so we trimmed the trailer frame right here. The tiny house is 12 feet wide, 16 feet long. I'm not sure how long the porch is. I've never actually measured it, but I would say it's probably another 16 feet. Now, we got a lot of scrap lumber off the trailer. It was all 2x4s here. Where you see these little wings, there would have been a 2x4 here, another one in the center, and then a 2x4 on the next wing, so forth, so on. And we got a lot of lumber off that. It was all 2x4s, 12-foot 2x4s that went across the trailer here. So when we built it, we recycled the 2x4s. Now, I get it. A lot of people don't think that's sturdy enough, but they build mobile homes out of 2x4s, so I followed suit. And I'm just not going to get into that argument anymore. So we took the 2x4s and we built our frame for the tiny house. Now, in the center, where you see the center here, I went ahead and made more structural support there, and I put a 2x6, actually two 2x6s. So I got a center beam here on the center of the tiny house. So the distance between the structural supports isn't that far. So you got a structural support here, and about 3 feet away, you got another structural support, 3 feet away, structural support. You got the wings, that's probably what, another 2 feet. So, I mean, you know, there's a lot of structural support here, more so than the mobile home. This thing's gonna be really strong. Then I went and got the plywood, and laid plywood down and insulation. Now I'm going to show you the insulation. Now I know, just like when I showed you the insulation last time, everybody's going to tell me, oh, the rodents are going to be such a problem. So I put insulation up underneath here. This is exactly what everybody else does. I've watched video after video after video of this. Now it's been here for what, 2 months now, and you will see there are no rodents in here yet. What we did was we threw cayenne pepper all over on the floor here, everywhere. Cayenne pepper keeps mice and snakes away quite well. They don't want it in their eyes any more than you do. Well, and we'll just sprinkle that in every few months. It's not that expensive to buy cayenne pepper at the store. What we did was we mixed it in with water, shook it up real good, and just put a sprayer and sprayed it all over the place. So now we have insulation. It's R14, which is much heavier than I think that we need. As you know, heat rises, cool air sinks. So we're not that worried about the floor. We just want something that we can walk on that's not going to freeze our feet off in the winter. And so now what our plan has been all along, and we haven't been able to follow the plan, quite honestly, and I'm not worried about it, was we'll spend $500 a month to build a tiny house. And the tiny house should cost about $5,000. But the third month, we got to looking at our budget and everything. We wanted to buy windows and walls at the same time, 2x4s to build the walls, and a door. Well, that was going to be a lot more than $500. It's going to come up to about $800 to $900, as a matter of fact. We said, well, we'll skip a month. And then the next month, which is this month, we will go ahead and buy all of it at the same time. That would keep us within budget. We're not overextending ourselves. Everything would be great. Now, a lot of people suggested that I should just frame out the windows, buy the 2x4s, frame out the windows, and then buy the windows next month. The problem is I'm not sure I know what size windows we're going to get. I'm going to go to the Habitat for Humanity Resell It shop is what it's called. I'm going to buy windows there. Of course, you don't know what size you're going to get. We could actually have different size windows everywhere. We've decided we're going to get 3 windows, one for each wall, and then one back here we'll have a window for the door. And so for me to frame out the window, I wouldn't know what size it is. So essentially I would end up building the walls, cutting the 2x4s later once I found out what size that was. Well, plans change all the time around here. So I've been reading, and I thank John for this actually. John's been a long time subscriber. And so yesterday he messaged me and he says, have you seen the news reports saying that there is a lumber shortage? What has happened is since the virus lockdown, all the DIYers went out and bought a bunch of lumber because they were considering hardware stores essential business. Well, the thing is the lumber companies themselves, the one that actually produced the lumber, they weren't considered essential business. So they shut down and so these big stores were selling all their lumber. Well, now the lumber companies are back in business. They're up and running. People are also calling in sick because of the virus. So they're still not at full capacity yet. I decided maybe I'll go out to Home Depot today and just scavenge around, see what they got, just get an idea. Because we were going to go next week, actually, and buy stuff. So I figured if they had something there, that I would go ahead and buy it. In the area that I'm at, they actually have 3 of those big box store hardware stores. They got Menards, Home Depot, and Lowe's, all within a mile of each other. So it was easy for me to, shop around, get the best price and all that. I got to Home Depot, and they had some lumber. And I went over to the lady and I said, can I get this? And she said, no, we're not, that's reserved. It's already been called in, or credit card payment, or whatever. I guess I can do online shipping or online sales. So that would have already been reserved. Same thing with Lowe's. So they refused to sell me anything. So we're back on a holding pattern. So what we're going to do next week is we're going to go ahead and go to the Resell It shop and see if they got windows and doors. We'll probably go ahead and buy a brand new door from Home Depot. I want to go ahead and get a framed door, a pre-framed door, so I don't have to build the frame myself. I'm not that good of a carpenter. I don't want to pretend that I am. So I'll just go ahead and get the pre-framed door and put it in there myself. The Home Depot told me to come back next month, or call them. Actually, I said call them. But this could last several months. So again, Carolyn and I are very content living in our camper down here. We're very happy. We talked about it several times, and we're just not in a hurry. We're happy. And that's really all that matters. My point is I'm still happy and I'm not discouraged. What I want to convey to you is just because things don't go exactly like you had hoped, don't give up on your dreams and your plans. I want you to be happy. And all you got to do is find the positive in it. The positive in this is it's too hot to build right now anyways. So this might actually get me into a position in August and September where things start to cool down a little bit, where I can actually come out here and really work. Also, it gets me to force myself to work on firewood. Firewood is my biggest concern right now. I want to make sure I have plenty. I know what I think I'm going to need. I think I'm going to need 1 cord, maybe 2, and I've got 5. But if I need more than that, I want to make sure I got plenty. It gets me to focus on the important things, and I can work on this as time permits and as materials permit. Thanks for watching.